Welcome to the ILTM Leaders with Substance series. I'm Pedro Andrade, and I'm thrilled to be talking to Tania Swasbrook, Vice President of Travelworld and luxury travel designer. Hi, Tania.
Hi, Pedro.
First and foremost, what triggered this passion for traveling?
It's actually wasn't a trigger as much as it was a family event. My mom owns the travel agency for the past 40-some years, so it was just a natural inclination to follow in my mom's footsteps and do what obviously she loved since I was 2 years old.
But do you remember like a moment and you realized that you could actually be good at this? Not just that you liked it, but that you could actually be good at it.
Yes, I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I was 14 and we traveled for the first time to Europe. And I saw how my mother was treated, but also how she knew so many people, like the hotels and the cruise lines, and she just knew so much about it that it really fascinated me. And that's what made me really fall in love with travel as a lifestyle, more so as a job.
What would you say is the biggest misconception when it comes to this industry?
I think that the biggest misconception of the travel industry is that there's no interaction. So it's not a dynamic relationship, that it's the client will come and say, I want to go here, book it. And I think also the misconception is that because of the internet, for example, right now today, what's happened is people always ask me all the time, oh my gosh, you guys still exist because I can book it online. And actually, the internet has helped us as travel professionals, or travel agents especially, or advisors, so to speak. That has helped us because there's so much information that it's death by analysis. So the clients will go on and they'll get so many different points of view from so many different places that they don't know how to decipher it themselves. So the internet has helped us as a profession for the luxury travel side of things.
So in a way, you also work as a curator.
Correct.
For people that might have money but have no time.
It's more than curating experiences or events or travel. It's more putting together a dream. I know that sounds really cheesy, but more so than just an experience, or more so it's just putting together something for families that will be part of their life span timeline forever. And so that's why it has to be a back and forth with the client. Instead of just putting a trip together based on what they're asking you, you have to know about them, what they like to do. And that's why it's such a beautiful industry.
We live in uncertain times. How has that impacted this industry? Are people traveling less? Are people traveling more?
More so than ever. I think right now, even as a travel professional that I've been doing this for a long time, 25 years, I think that I've never been so, in a way, jaded about what's going on in the world, because you have hurricanes and you have natural disasters, but then you have terrorism, then you have mosquitoes, and so there's always something going on. And now, because of social media, I think that it's impacted everyone in a very different way, because it's so close. You can see the videos of buildings falling, and you're like, well, how do I know where I can go? And that, I think, right now, in any statistics, in any articles or whatever, that the anxiety of travel, the anxiety of going places and not knowing where or how or something might happen, that is also why we are very important as agents, for example, but also we have to demonstrate that we are traveling. So now more than ever, I think our industry should be traveling. What
are some of the suggestions you'd give to brands in order to give this comfortable feeling that you're talking about to their clients?
Well, I don't necessarily say it, I do it. I think that more so than anything, because I can tell you, yeah, absolutely, don't worry, go to Egypt, and then I'm sitting here in San Diego.
There's a responsibility.
Correct. There's a responsibility to actually do the deed, no? Go actually travel, and that's why social media also helps, because they can see that you're doing it, not just talking about it.
When it comes to luxury, do you feel like this concept has evolved? And if it has, how so?
I think luxury will always be the same, in the sense of luxury is luxury. There's certain parameters around what a luxury product has to encompass for it to be luxury. But I think that the way that we're now experiencing, I think the way people are wanting to travel is going back to basics, but doing different things. For example, you don't necessarily want to travel to stay at a hotel and go to dinner. You want to actually go visit local people or do local things. You don't want to go to touristy restaurants, or you want to actually take part in local life. And I think that's how luxury itself has evolved, because now it's no longer, it has to be 6-star gold rooms. It has to be just the comfort level that you're accustomed to in the luxury way of travel, but in different locations that are much more authentic.
Now, politically speaking, what do you think this industry can use from politicians, leaders, and influencers?
That's a really hard question. I mean, I guess if you would have asked it before Trump, the answer would be different. Now it is so in your face because, for example, the travel ban, or so in your face because of racism and everything that is also happening in the United States, which is the epicenter of what people think of travel. I mean, Americans are everywhere. So what happens is you have a leader such as Trump, which, like him or not, but he's really putting focus on ethnicities and religions and putting a black, like an X on saying, okay, well, you guys are bad. So it almost makes it seem that you shouldn't be going to those countries or accepting people to come. So for me, politically, I actually don't even know, because it is so different now, and it's so confusing, I think.
Speaking of differences and confusion, do you feel like there are different ways to treat different travelers? How do you treat a Latin American traveler versus an American traveler?
In our agency, we have 2 sets of travelers, let's just say. One are the American Wall Streeters, and the other one are the Latin Americans, so Mexicans primarily. They travel in completely different ways. So if you don't know that, you will not be able to deal with them, I think, properly, because they need different things. You speak to them differently. They request things in different times. Mexicans, for example, are like, oh, I want to go to Asia tomorrow, versus Americans, they plan it for years, and they even have like a set. With some of my clients in the United States, it's like you actually have a 5-year plan of where they're going to go every year so that the kids could get excited and all that. In Latin America, it's not like that. It's like, especially for political reasons or for natural disasters, whatever, they leave things to the very last minute, but they want things now. So if you don't understand the difference between cultures for clients, it makes it very difficult.
How important would you say are organizations like ILTM and events like this one?
They're crucial. Without this sort of event like ILTM Americas, you would not be able to come together with such like-minded people from all over the world in the same arena, which is luxury travel. But you get to meet with them on a very personal level. So when you have clients in places, for example, right now, clients in Mexico City, there was the earthquake.
Yeah.
You know who to call because you know the general managers of these hotels, you know the on-sites and all the people that you meet in events like this. And you have a personal relationship to call and be like, hey, help. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're crucial. Without this sort of thing, you wouldn't be able to do, or we wouldn't do what we do.
What advice would you give to a Latin American traveler that's willing to venture out and meet the world?
For the traveler, educate yourself. 100%. Don't just go blind. Educate yourself on wherever you want to go. Educate yourself on the culture, the food. If you're going to visit somewhere, don't just go in blind. Especially Latin Americans, they're so adventurous, but also they need to know that there's certain things that can't be done. Or, for example, if you're going to the United States, your dinner times are different than in Latin America. Shopping experiences, because their shops close at 9. So it just. I think it's key for them to educate themselves to where they're going.
And on a personal level, looking back, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of continuing the legacy that my mom started in the luxury travel sector, because there are so many small boutique agencies that they're being bought out by different conglomerates and big agencies that are coming together, and they're fantastic. We've been approached many times to do that, and we've always kept to ourselves. We're a small agency boutique. It's important to stay true to yourself, and I think that we've been able to do that, and that makes me extremely proud.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Tania. Congratulations for all the work that you've been doing and for being one of the leaders that keep the world moving. We need more people like you.
Thank you.
And make sure to catch the other videos in the Leaders with Substance series. Thanks for watching.